Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to bring back another video for all of you. And if you've been following along the last few videos on my channel, then you know that I'm currently working on the JoyTangle series, which is a Christmas themed Zentangle challenge that I hosted in December 2024 from the 1st to the 25th of December. And I'm editing the videos much later because I was taking my own sweet time to edit them. And so you see some of these videos coming after Christmas. But honestly, all of these projects can be done all year round. Even though the colors that I'm using are Christmas colors, you can actually customize the same composition in so many different ways with different color combinations. And you can also convert them into classic black and white Zentangles. So as you probably remember, I had created a list of 25 prompts for this challenge so that we could use one prompt every day and create a composition with that. And based on this list, we are on day 8 of the challenge. And the prompt for this particular video is Marasu, which was the day 8 prompt. And Marasu is a Zentangle original tangle, which means that it was launched and developed by the Zentangle headquarters. And it is one of my absolute favorite tangles to work with. You probably remember that I had done a mini tutorial of this during the Biju Be Well series in May 2024, where Zentangle was hosting the Biju Be Well 2024 event in May in honor of the Mental Health Awareness Month. And so I posted a mini tutorial during that time, which I'm going to link somewhere in the description of the video so you can have a look at that. And for today's project, I'm going to be using Marasu again, but the idea today is to use it in a more joyful, playful, fun, festive manner to go with the vibe of this challenge. So over here you can see that I started off by adding 3 beautiful Marasu elements at the bottom of my tile. Honestly, this is a Zentangle project, so there is no top and bottom or left and right because these are abstract compositions and you can rotate them in any direction. So the orientation can basically change depending on your personal aesthetic, and each person will have a different way of looking at the drawing. But just for reference right now, just while I'm talking to you, I'm just making it easier for you to understand. So I'm placing these Marasu elements at the bottom of my tile. And then I'm just going back with my pen and giving them a slightly wiggly, curvy edge, very similar to how you have deckled edge papers. And this is because I want to make it look slightly more organic. And I wanted to have a slightly more wavy form, and so I'm just going back and accentuating those lines slightly more. So basically for this step as well as the last step where I did the outlines, I'm using a darker green pen, and this is the darkest color in my color palette, but as I progress further in the drawing, I'm going to use the other colors as well. Okay, so once the outlines were done, I went back in with my red pen, and in the classic style of adding little color pops in the Marasu, I decided to add these red pops. And this is very, very similar to Christmas candies or those Christmas lollipops that we get on sticks. It also reminds you of peppermint candies and stuff like that. And I feel like it adds to the joyful festive vibe of the composition, which is why I'm adding these red elements over here. Next, I'm going in with my green pen and just adding some tiny lines towards the edges of those thicker sections that I have added. And again, the idea is to make it look joyful, festive, with a playful quality to it. So you can have fun with so many different variations of this tangle. You can add little micro patterns inside this tangle and make it really tangle heavy, so to say. So you can do so many different customizations over here, but I'm just sticking to some classic motifs which also remind you of Christmas elements. And so this kind of a pattern also reminds you of candy canes, which is why I'm going for something like this. But you don't have to do it the same way as me, and you can totally customize it in any way that you like. So for my next step, I decided to add the other tangle first, so that I can see where my composition is shaping up, and then I can add the details later on. And so the second tangle that I went with for this project is called Blinkt, which is by another CZT, Jennifer Hohensteiner. And as mentioned previously, sometimes I pronounce the names wrong. So if you're the person who created this tangle, please forgive me if I've said your name wrong. I will definitely put in the correct spellings to your names in the description box. And people can actually check out the step outs for the beautiful tangles that all of you CZTs and other tanglers have created. So yeah, this one is by Jennifer. And over here you can see that I'm adding some green sections to create the base structure for Blinkt. And then I will basically go in with my red pen and start to create some small divisions or some small segments within those larger segments. Now, as you'll see me adding the details to Blinkt, you will realize that you can actually go back and forth with the different colors of pens that you have, because there is no set order to this particular tangle. If you were doing this in black and white, then you would continue going one by one sequentially, and you would probably go row-wise or column-wise. But in this particular case, I'm trying to balance out all the colors in my palette, which is why I'm going random in my order of pens. And so I'm just creating these small triangular, rectangular sections, or sometimes adding thin lines, sometimes adding thick lines, and then just going back and forth with the details as well. So there is honestly not a lot that I can do to explain this verbally. I think the best thing to do would be to let you watch how I progressed in this particular section. So I'm just going to let you see the video for the next few minutes, and I'm pretty sure you will get an idea of how to build this tangle. Alright, so that was Blinkt, and then I came back to Marasu with my gold pen and started to add in some tiny little details inside those red sections. And I purposely went with spirals or, the tangle print toms in this case, because I wanted it to match the outlines of Marasu. And I also added in some thin gold lines just to give it that intricate, detailed feel. Then I went back in with my green pen and started to add some more details. And this just goes to show that you can keep building your composition more and more, layer by layer. The more love you give to your tile, the more beautiful, the more intricate it is going to turn out to be. So you can literally go into every micro nano space that you see on your tile and fill it up. And it's totally up to you how dense or how airy you want your tiles to be. But for this particular composition, I'm aiming for a slightly dense look, which is why I'm going in with all these tiny, tiny details. Then I moved on to my white jelly roll pen and started to add in some details with that. I wanted to balance out the white nicely on the colored sections, which is why I added in some lines and some dots, etc. And then I also used the white jelly roll pen inside those spirals or those print-ons that I had created, and just started to add in some little curvy lines or accentuating strokes here and there, which are not really highlights, but they're more or less like accent lines that are being added inside those tiny spaces. And just for a little more detail, I decided to add in some gold outlines to those green orbs that I had added earlier. And so these are basically just finishing touches that I'm doing to finish the tile nicely. Alright, and it's time to remove the washi tape and reveal the beautiful design. This is, I think, one of my most favorite tiles from the entire series that I'm doing. And if you are keen to check out how the rest of the projects are shaping up, then make sure that you check the JoyTangle playlist on my channel, where I've put together the entire collection of 25 projects. I'm going to link that in the description box as well. And if you're keen to see more videos like this on my channel, then make sure that you subscribe. I'm going to be back very soon with lots more exciting videos. Till then, stay creative and take care.